In the research world, there was only one podcast that earned recognition in 2019 and 2020, and being named by Outside Services as one of the best in the marketing research field. We are that one podcast, Research Business Daily Report, which dates back to 2012, and since then we've been providing you with the biggest news of the day, Monday through Thursday most weeks. And today we're known as the research industry's only daily research video blog. So enjoy today's RBDR and any of our other reports, but then show your support for the Research News video series that you are gazing at right now. You can see on the screen to my right exactly where to go online to do that. I am Bob Lederer, and I'm in my 26th year as a respected voice in market research. Ipsos' Senior VP of Brand Health Tracking, Emmanuel Probst, is back with us again today. Now, Probst doubles as a consumer market research professor, teaching an MBA level marketing course at UCLA. And we have him back because we're reviewing some of the most pertinent advertising and brand research issues that are covered in his new book, Brand Hacks: How to Build Brands by Fulfilling the Consumer Quest for Meaning. It's going to hit bookshelves in a couple of weeks. Today, Emmanuel tells us about the growing role that two important factors should be and could be assuming in the vital brand building research area. One is Psychographics and the other are Micromoments. You're going to hear what those actually are and how they jointly benefit a pretty well-known brand, Burt's Bees. Emmanuel?
Bob, psychographics are really about classifying people according to their attitudes, to their to some psychological criteria, their values, their beliefs, their aspirations. So let me give you some examples. Fashionistas, that are people who have an interest in fashion, or decoristas, people who like to decorate their house. We can think also of audiophiles, people who are in search for the perfect sound quality with their stereo equipment. All these are examples of psychographic groups. Psychographics have been adopted by brands increasingly over the last few years. We are not quite there yet. And I think the reason is twofold. Number one, from a research standpoint, people are so used to demographics. We've been working with demographics for such a long time that people like to stay in their comfort zone. And the second reason is because while psychographics are interesting, not all brands or not all marketing teams are willing and able to activate upon those psychographics. But micromoments are about those small moments throughout the day that are opportunities to do something and therefore to think about a brand. Grabbing coffee, for example, commuting to the office, commuting back to the office, taking the kids to soccer, popping out to the street mall for something. Those are micromoments, in contrast with the important moments in your life. And those will be a wedding, a graduation ceremony, a bar mitzvah. Those are major events. And the reason why micromoments are so important in marketing is because they guide what activities and therefore what brands you're willing to choose. And an easy example is coffee. It's 8:14 a.m. on the West Coast now. If Dunkin' Donuts was to push an ad to me to encourage me to buy a vanilla cold brew, for example, and give me a larger size for the same price, I'm likely to pop out to Dunkin' Donuts and grab that coffee. Now, if Dunkin' Donuts was to target me with the exact same offer at 5 or 6 p.m. tonight, candidly, even for free, I'm not sure I will drink it. Why? Because most people will not drink a jolt of caffeine 4 to 6 hours before going to bed. Micromoments indeed are even less adopted than psychographics. And here's why. Psychographics are evergreen, whereby if you have an interest in fashion or stereo equipment, in all likelihood, tomorrow, next week, and in three years, you still will have the same interest. Micromoments, though, have to be targeted within days and frankly within hours, part of the day. So frankly, they're trickier to implement in advertising and in marketing than psychographics. A brand that, in my opinion, succeeds at leveraging both psychographics and micromoments is Burt's Bees. And Burt's Bees makes natural personal care product based on beeswax, and you may be familiar with the lip balm that sell all over the stores. So Burt's Bees identified that if the wind blows at 7 miles per hour or higher, this correlates with sales of lip balms. In other words, the wind's blowing, you feel a little bit cold, a little bit dry, you're therefore more likely to buy lip balm immediately because, of course, you're not carrying a lip balm with you. Therefore, Burt's Bees is going to advertise in specific regions of the country based on how fast the wind blows. So that's a great example of leveraging in micromoments. But they also understand psychographics, whereby Burt's Bees is a premium brand, and it's not a brand for everyone. And what I mean by this is this lifestyle of someone slightly taking care of herself or himself, but it's slightly irreverent. It's a natural product. It's in touch with nature and with the environment. It has a strong purpose and values. And as such, Burt's Bees understand psychographics. But what's holding brands back is a little bit of all of the above, but as often, it's also access to data. And what I mean here is direct-to-consumer brands or brands that hold a lot of first-party data about their customers are at an advantage here. And actually, that could be a conversation for another day, but the power and the importance of first-party data for all brands, no matter if you're in personal care or in technology, is growing by the day. So the short answer to your question, Bob, is when a brand holds first-party data, knows a lot about their individual consumers, all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier to enable both psychographics and micromoments.
That wraps up today's Research Business Daily Report. But before we go, we want to ask all of you who are viewing us today to please do us a favor. And it won't cost you anything, I promise. RBDR has been nominated, along with approximately 20 other market research podcasts, as the 2021 Market Research Podcast of the Year. It's a voting competition, so we ask you to take 1 minute of your time. Go to the vote casting website. It's shown in the description box underneath this video. And when you get there, select RBDR as your choice. Please do it now, and thank you in advance. And as we mentioned at the start of today's RBDR, we hope you'll become a Patreon supporter, which you can do by visiting our exclusive crowdfunding platform at patreon.com/RBDR. We hope that you have a good research day and that we will see you back here tomorrow. And until then, please stay safe.